Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Living with S. I'm your host, Sharon Mundia, and we're here at the beautiful Park Inn by Radisson. Now, I'm willing to bet that at some point in time, you've gone on YouTube and you've seen a video that left you inspired and motivated, ready to go out and start the day. And that video was most likely by TED Talks, because for years now they have been inspiring people to go about achieving their dreams and just informing people, because that's what they do. They come about with ideas, or they find people, tastemakers, thought leaders, and they have them share their ideas, which ends up sparking like an excitement in you, or allows you to learn something new about yourself or about other people too. They've had models, they've had athletes, all sorts of people, beatboxers too. I saw a really cool one for beatboxers, and it's just a really fun space. And they also have TEDx, right? And right now we're about to invite two incredible ladies to speak to us about how they were able to get the license to have that here, TEDxParklands, and understand a little bit about their journey and an organization that they also co-founded. Welcome, cool. Ladies. Want to start by introducing yourselves? Let's start with you, Betty.
I'm the lead organizer for TEDxParklands, which is a role I've had for about 2 years. Yeah, so this is what I do part-time. I actually volunteer to run TEDx. So it's a big project, and I really enjoy project management. Yeah. So it's the thing that gives me flow outside of my usual 8 to 5 job.
Betty Kingari,
yes.
Ladies. One name only. One name only. You can just stick to Betty for now, but Betty Kingari.
Cool. My name is Annstella Mumbi, so I'm the other lead organizer. I always make the joke that Betty is my other half. So we're gonna get this thing together. Cool. So I've also been running TEDxParklands since last year when we were TEDx Youth at Parklands. So now we've transitioned to TEDxParklands to allow us to have more people at the event and not have an age restriction to the attendees who are going to be in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, so apart from that, Betty and I have also co-founded an organization called Volunteers for Kenya, of which I act as a director of operations.
And I'm leading all sustainability and business development and partnerships, which is why TEDx is one of the initiatives we have under Volunteers for Kenya. So we do a lot of stuff, but TEDx is one of the things that I run.
Okay. Yeah, and then minus all that, I just love saying we're engineers.
Engineer. I studied engineering in JKUAT, the Juja people.
Yes, you guys. So is that where you met? Is that where this story began?
Yes.
Okay.
Like almost 6-7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And at the time, I mean, how did Volunteers for Kenya come about?
That's okay.
Okay.
So ideally, I've always been super passionate about volunteering, and the challenge I kept facing was that there were no local volunteering opportunities for me. I could find opportunities, but they were targeted at, come from abroad, come volunteer in Kenya. So because I was around a lot of super innovative young people who were looking for things to do on long holiday and so on, and especially after that high school break before you went to university. So I started asking myself, why there are no programs that exist. I tried starting some with existing organizations, but it wasn't a focus for them. So I just wrote an email to 4 friends, and I told them, guys, I want us to start an NGO and help give local volunteering opportunities. And I think 3 months after that, we were registering an NGO.
Wow. Where did that come from, that interest in volunteering? Is that something that you were raised doing by your parents to be conscious of?
I'm super passionate about community development, and I tend to believe that coming from a country that has such a huge rich-poor gap, I am quite fortunate. And I being able to recognize that and understand that, hey, like if we don't fix this right now, it's going to be a bigger problem in the future. And I keep telling people there are around 122 million youth coming, we're going to be joining the employment workforce in Africa over the next 10 years.
122.
So where are these people going to go? So we need to sort of learn to give back. So if I know how to code, let me teach someone how to code. Because on our end, we're just getting more opportunities and leaving a lot of people behind. So that was a general idea behind it. So if we just collect a bunch of people doing engineering courses in JKUAT and take them to children's home, and we teach kids basic computer skills, teach them how to code, and that's how it actually started.
Who's first thought, TEDx, let's try and like bring that. Which, by the way, I don't know if I explained it before, but so TED Talks is the bigger space organization, but TEDx is where you sort of bring those ideas into local communities and allow those conversations to happen on that intimate scale. So who first thought, TEDx? Let's make it happen.
I think we kind of thought it together because actually what happened is we were watching a TEDx talk by Caroline Mutuko, and then we both just happened to see the caption is TEDx Lavington Women. So we're like, wait, do you mean the Lavington that's just next to us? And then we're like, does this mean that we can organize TEDx talks? And then we literally both Googled how to organize a TEDx talk.
Really?
And there's a whole set of rules you have to follow. So you just apply. You tell TED what you want your event to be about. After that, if they like your if they like the concept, they just send you an email for you to sit for an exam. So it's a 10-question exam. And then after the 10-question exam, they give you a Skype call for you to review your answers to basically ensure that you understand each and every rule. And then after that, you have a license for a year. And they're like, cheers, have fun. So there's minimal support in terms of what resources, so we literally had to build a team from scratch, find partners, find a venue, think about the ideas we want to propagate from Nairobi, because we're really passionate about our city and making sure that people understand that ideas don't really choose where they stem from. Like, it doesn't matter your reality, like ideas can come from anywhere, and the passion around using ideas to change the world is what we're all about.
I think to just add on to that, part of what really drove us to that was we were seeing a lot of TED Talks and TEDx Talks about Africa. But then even if they were by Africans, they were never in Africa. And that was something that was really bothering us, to say the least. So we just thought, hey, and she doesn't like when I say this, we're going to have African talks by Africans in Africa.
Why did you like it?
On an African
She
stage.
said it so many times. It's like,
we made this speech for like 2 years.
Oh my goodness. Have you guys seen, and I know I'm digressing, but I'm just going to anyway. Have you seen Lady Gaga, that sentence that she says so many times? Like,
the one for
100 people not to believe in you, but one, and she said it, I swear to, I think it's been recorded like 70 times. And every time Bradley Cooper is sitting next to her, so I feel like you're the Bradley Cooper.
And they actually did you should do a compilation. They did a compilation for that.
So if I had a penny for every time she said it,
you'd be rich.
But it's gotten us Cool.
Awesome. So you got the license last year, I believe. Right. So take me through what it's been like organizing these talks and seeing this idea come to life on an African stage by
Africans. So I think I'll take the first part, which I like calling the inception. So when we started out, we wanted to just have a space for the amazing young people we knew. So the first lessons we got was TEDx Youth at Parklands. So this was limited to people of the age of maybe 13 to 35. But then you see now all our speakers had to be within the age bracket and our attendees, because it was a youth event. And at the time, we hadn't attended a TED Talk, a main TED outside of Africa. So our ticket was also limited to 100 people. So we held that event at Michael Joseph Center. Safaricom was kind enough to give us a space for free. And we just collected a bunch of partners and put the event together, had 11 speakers, 100 attendees, a team of like 30 plus people. At the time, all our volunteers were under 25 years, which was super amazing.
And the 30 people are all volunteers?
Yes.
Wow.
All of us volunteers.
So literally everything from what we did is we discovered in our networks, we have a lot of amazing young people doing startups. So we were working with people, for example, hey, come do a production, you have this amazing production company. Come do a website, you have this amazing design company. So we just had, even if you look at our company logos, there's so many startups that we kind of pulled it together and had this event. So I'll have Betty take over from now the scale up.
So what happens is that when you apply for a TEDx license initially, they cap the amount of people you have at your event to 100. Simply because it's like you're buying into a franchise and they need to control branding and all those kinds of things. So the caveat to that is for you to get this license for more than 100 people, you have to attend a TED Global event. So I was like, okay, so I just need to find money to attend TED Global.
Yeah.
So I Google, okay, how much is TED Global? And I'm seeing the cheapest ticket is $3,000. So it mounts from $3,000, $6,000. There's even $25,000
for a ticket, like to go
yeah,
and
to
listen.
go for the
That's a ticket,
conference.
not
Yeah,
flight
not
or
flight
food or anything
food or
included.
accommodation or
My.
nothing.
But let me tell you, that's one of the most inspiring spaces you work.
Exactly.
You go for that and you walk out and you're changed, because we've had
Exactly.
also psychologists,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the most business moguls, and when they
Exactly.
speak, you're like, I'm never the same person.
I
I
know.
know.
The networks are crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone who
Wow.
attends TED is someone who $3,000 is basically pocket change, which is why for them TEDx is very important as an initiative, because then it helps to drive the TED agenda locally. Yeah. So we were fortunate enough that TED decided to live stream what was happening in TED Vancouver in New York.
Okay.
And that was $500. So I was like, yeah, going to New York. So I gathered up these guys and we got onto a flight and we went for the live stream of that TED in New York. And then after that, like, we could literally host a TEDx talk in Nairobi in Nyayo Stadium if we wanted. Right. So for this particular event, we're the ones who are limiting the number to 600 people, simply because we want to understand the basic things like crowd dynamics and like project management. But I promise you, this is the last time we're having an event this small. From here on out, we're going to scale out, because I was even telling her how there's a TEDx event in Argentina that started with 100 people, then 200 people, then 600 people, and now they do 10,000 people every single year. And get this, they do it for free.
10,000 people
for free,
and all come in, come learn. And is it a day?
One day event. Yeah.
So think of it as a concert, ideally.
Yeah.
Starting in the morning and
a concert of ideas.
Exactly.
Right?
An amazing, powerful
So that's where we
conversation.
want to get to. Like, we really want to ignite the spirit of TED and give Nairobi a platform to share her ambitions, you know, goals, dreams. We truly believe this city of ours is very special. And we are honestly inviting anyone who wants to participate in that dream to come and co-create an experience with us, because that's what we're about. Like, people go to TED to experience brands and to learn, and that's what we want to replicate here. So for us, like, sponsorship and marketing is not about putting your logo on our videos or on our stage. It's around how can people experience brand X from the moment they come to the venue, and what will those people say about brand X when they leave our event. That's what we're about.
So you had your first event in May last year, and you had another one in December.
No, so we actually just had the first one in May. Then this year we're now strategizing to understand what the bigger plan looks like.
Okay. So what did you learn? What would you say you learned from the first one in May last year?
Lesson number one: buy batteries for your clicker.
For the
But anyway, but minus that,
it's funny, those little things that you don't even know matter.
That's true.
But then apart from that, I think for me it was the energy in the room. And I keep telling people that that's something that can never be replicated, because what we felt in that room, and everyone was like, oh my God, I paid this 2,000 for this. You guys are really underselling what you're giving. Because you can imagine having 11 speakers from 11 different categories. So everything you're listening to is totally different. And in a small intimate room, and you know, the meals are just there, and it's a space, it's a lighting, it's a conversations. So honestly, lessons learned was we need to scale this. So that's what we spent all these months kind of figuring out. That was the only thing we took away from that. It's okay, we cannot just have 100 people. We need to have as many people as possible in this space.
Which is coming up. The next event is coming up. Which we'll talk about after this break. We've just got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive into who you should expect for the next TEDx talk. TEDxParklands talk. We'll be back in a moment.
Awesome.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Park-In by Radisson, and I've got Mumbi and Betty, who are licensed to host TEDxParklands here, which is a space where they find tastemakers and thought leaders to share their ideas, whoever they are. And you said something so beautiful. I don't know if it's Betty or Mumbi, but ideas don't pick the person. So it's not even about like, are you a well-known name, are you famous or not? It's just like, what do you have to share?
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. Okay. So the event is coming up May 4th, right? And the theme is Under the Nairobi Blue Sky. Under the Nairobi Blue Sky. So how do you then select who to come and give the talks?
Yeah, so I think the title, first to take it back, the Under the Nairobi Blue Sky came from Lupita. Yes, when she won her. Yes, so we were looking for a theme and
Nairobi Blue.
Yeah. So what happened was we were watching that and we were trying to figure out what's a theme that doesn't tie us to engineering or tech or art. So when we saw that, and it was beautiful, saying, this is an amazing Kenyan lady on a global stage, like using this stage to spread amazing ideas. We were like, yeah, that's gonna be it. Yeah. Right. So that's how it came about. Yeah.
Was it the Oscars?
Yeah.
That she was wearing that, and then she was asked like, what is this? I don't know what she said, and she called her dress
sky of Nairobi
Blue. That was the color of her dress, Nairobi Blue.
Yeah. So that's actually it too.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, like, we have different ways we select our speakers, but what is common for all of them is that once you come onto TEDxParklands or to any TEDx platform, you lose your title. You're no longer Sharon, the host of Living with S. You're Sharon, and you interact with the other speakers as Sharon, not as Sharon who runs this amazing thing. So we have various selection methods for our speakers. The first is that we have a nomination platform on our website. So if you know someone who you think has a great idea, or if yourself you think you have a great idea, just write to us, tell us what your idea is about, and we'll definitely like follow up. The second is that there are people we identify, so it's like we scout around for ideas. And then the last is that we actually do a call on social media and we ask guys to share with us a 1-minute video of what they want to talk about, which is actually a TED standard. And TED right now is running an idea search globally. Okay. So if you have an amazing idea and you want to speak at TED in Vancouver next year, go and submit a 1-minute video. You never know. Yeah.
So I've got to ask, even the idea of it, because there's many eyes looking at you and waiting for you to just like spew out this like mind-blowing idea. Do you take them through training, or how do you help the speakers know how to bring out the idea? Because they might have it, but how you bring it out might...
Yeah, so I can take that. Okay. So I'm the one who's been handling curation because I'm the one with African ideas on an African stage. Yeah, but anyway, so what we came to really realize, and it comes back to the question you asked initially from the last event, was that speakers need support because it's pressure. So we designed a whole training session that runs sometimes a month to 2 months, depending on at what point you join us. So you work with our coach. He's called Mr. Oltesh Tobias. So Oltesh is a Toastmasters genius. He's done an Engage. He's done 2 TEDx events as a speaker. So he loves coaching. So he takes our speakers through the process. We usually start with meetings every 2 weeks where a speaker has to submit, a script of exactly what she'll say. Then we take it to submit a video, and then we have like live sort of sessions where you talk to the people and we critique and we give you advice. And then he just does a lot of one-on-one touch points with speakers. So this for you to see the speakers on the stage, this is work that's been ongoing for 2 months.
So it's not like you just woke
up.
Don't wake up and you're like,
it's actually one of the things we're trying to create a lot of awareness around. Because someone will call you like, hey, you guys are doing an event next week. I want to be on the stage. You're like, no, you don't wake up and deliver TEDx.
Because it's so important for the idea to be able to come out. And if you don't have if you're not prepared for it, it might be lost.
The opportunity.
It's like you have this one chance of what idea do you want to share. So you have to think and we have to help you structure it so that you communicate. And also we have a lot of guidelines from TED around what you can say on the stage, what you can't. So for example, you can't go there and tell people, hey, I run this company, please buy my shoes, buy my tops.
So event is May 4th,
Yes.
Saturday,
Yes.
this Saturday. And you've got how many speakers lined up?
15.
Ideally 15.
15
15,
speakers.
yeah, yeah.
And how many minutes do they get to be on stage for?
18, maximum 18.
So I asked that because I knew the answer. I knew it was 18. And I'm so curious, why 18? Is there like a science to why 18 is the right number?
Yeah. Take it
Yeah,
away.
so I mean, TED has done a lot of research. You know, TED has been running since 1985. 84.
84,
Yeah, so
so
around
35
35
years,
years.
yeah.
And I think the experience they've had is that throughout running these talks and events, like you lose people at some point.
Yeah.
So I think they've just done an entire research around what's the optimum amount of time that people concentrate. And so they've capped it at 18. So we are not even allowed to let you speak for more than 15 minutes because the 3 additional minutes is left for the audience to react, you know, to flow with you, to have pauses and those kinds of things, which is why the coaching is super important because you also don't want to rush through everything. You want to give guys a chance to laugh, a chance to think, a chance to reflect. Yeah, so 18 is the maximum you will ever see when it comes to TEDx talks or TED talks.
I mean, you guys have hosted your own TEDxParklands talks. You've gone and like watched one live in New York that was being streamed from
Vancouver.
And I'm sure you've like consumed a lot of videos. So what makes a good TED Talk video? What makes it a good
That's
TED
actually
Talk?
a very hard
question,
thing.
yeah.
I think I'm finding it hard on my end because I think for me it's a personal story. And this, I think of this because of the experience we had last night. So I was up till maybe 9 p.m. with speakers and we were doing this coaching thing. And what I realized is your personal story is only unique to you. We can have an idea, me and you can share an idea, but how I experience it and my lived reality is very different. So you tend to notice that when someone is talking chooses to be open about their story, open about, this is what I went through to get me here, people relate more, as opposed to me, say, quoting, hey, the Dalai Lama did this, and So if you can imagine if the Dalai Lama was delivering his own TED Talk, that would be powerful as compared to me quoting him. Yeah, so originality, because I think that for me is key.
Yeah, and I think much as we emphasize also on the personal story, we really also, I think what makes TED is the ability for the idea to be separated from you but still be connected to you.
Exactly.
So it's not, my name is Betty and Betty has gone through X, Y, and Z. It's Betty has gone through X, Y, and Z, and through that Betty has realized A, B, and C. So there's a complementary aspect to the personal stories fusing with the ideas, because ideas don't exist in like alone, in isolation. So they need to be accompanied with stories that give them life, and then stories are what people remember at the end of the day. So it's an idea what's spreading, propagated by a personal story.
And when you look, you'll actually notice that's a common theme for all of them.
Right, because you want to like be able to relate to the person, but also see
See
what the bigger picture is and see how it relates to
Exactly.
you.
So actually
It's
having
a delicate
call
dance.
to action, so that I'm not left wondering, so what do I do now?
Oh, beautiful. So how does one get to be in the audience? You talked about like a fee. There's a fee, but what does one have to do if they want to be part of the 600?
So I think we normally just do a huge call out, but then one of the key things that we're looking to also do a lot of education around is attendee curation. So this is part of the other lessons we learned. The audience or the energy was so amazing because we literally picked out who was in the room. And as we scale, we were wondering, so do we just sell out tickets like a concert? But then we realized that, the themes we have, people having an understanding of the TED brand, and people actually caring about having these sorts of conversations is very important. So we usually open up applications, maybe a month to the event or so, and then we have people fill out an application. Then we have a
tell
team.
us why you want to come.
Why you want to come, what are you interested in. Then we have a team of like 40 people kind of sit and go through each one of those, then you're now allowed to pay.
And it's because I think people don't realize that TED is not an event, it's a conference. And so we literally have to be, it's a conference, it's a TED conference, and also TEDx is a conference, just that it's an event as well. Yeah, and we're really passionate about selecting individuals who we think make the space what we want it to be, in terms of being able to connect with other individuals, which is why I told you, even for our speakers, they receive the same treatment.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have VIP speakers, we don't have VIP seats, we
Seats,
don't,
yeah.
like, I should be able to come to the event as an 18-year-old student just about to start my university and talk to the CEO of company X or Y, and we should be able to fuse and have and share ideas.
Yeah, and it's about sharing, it's about bonding around ideas.
Yeah.
And to just stop onto that, it doesn't matter what you do. Because one of the things we ask people is, so what do you do? And people think, oh, maybe we're just choosing CEOs or accomplished people. For us, it's about your idea, and ideas come from the best of places. We started some of the best things we've done when we were really young. So if someone didn't give us a chance by virtue of us being students, that would be an issue. So for us, we usually just consider, why do you want to attend? What does TED mean to you? What does TEDx mean to you? And most people, we get the most amazing feedback around, you know, I was watching this TED talk that helped me do this. I love TED. This is what I do with my weekends. This is what I watch every day to work. And you know, those are the people who want in the room. People who will just be pumped, you know, they'll have that energy.
Oh gosh, I like, even as you're speaking, I was just like, some of the, like, it's really about being able to connect with people without the airs of like, I am this person.
Exactly.
Who's sitting next to me. That takes away from it. So who are some of the speakers who will be speaking for this at this TEDx?
I think.
Yeah, that's a long list.
Yeah, it's a long list.
We're going to meet two of them after this.
But then I think the only thing I can say is they're 15, and actually this time we managed to balance gender. I'm super excited about that. Last time we noticed we had a very strong female bias.
I
wonder why, the mystery. But yeah, anyway, so we're really trying to have a gender balance and also a balance on the types of talks, and this is something I'd shared with you before, such that you listen to something serious and then you're looking at art, and then you're listening to something that blows your mind, and then all of a sudden you're calm. So we're just gonna be playing with the emotions all throughout the day.
And I guess also something super interesting is that we will be the first TEDx event in the world to host more than 2 speakers on the stage, and that's going to happen because of over 25.
Woo!
I know.
Break that boundary.
So it's never been done. Even TED itself does not recommend that you have more than 2 speakers on the stage, and we're like,
And after watching it yesterday, the synergy is on point.
Those girls are like incredible. We've had them on the show, and it was just like a blast. It was just a ball of laughter.
Which just goes back to like my point earlier on around, we strongly believe like this city has so much to offer, and I think we just want to ignite like patriotism and the feeling of I am Kenyan and I love it.
We all have stories that can inspire each other, because you don't have to go as far as a TED talk from someone in Nepal to feel inspired. These stories exist here, so just having them here, it's going to be beautiful.
So what do you have planned? What are you excited for 2019? I mean, of course, you've got like this big event happening, the second one. So what else can we expect?
Run with it. She's the one who sits doing the strategy all night.
So I mean, between May, we're going to have 7 smaller events that are going to all be themed around different things, and they're going to be called TEDxParklands salon events. So we're actually looking for partners who are willing to like co-create experiences with us and back up specific things. So for example, we could work with company X on a salon event around entrepreneurship or technology or art, literally anything under the Nairobi blue sky that you're passionate about, we shall make it happen for you. And then the other event that we're super excited about is TEDxParklands Women, which is going to be happening in December. And that doesn't mean that the event is locked out for men. It just means that there will be a very strong focus on trying to understand women and gender and diversity. It's like, if you think you want to speak at that event, that's also an amazing platform for you to share ideas around that. And then I think eventually what we're really aiming for, Sharon, is the opportunity to be able to grow our community so strong for 2 things to happen. Number 1, we want to have this as a festival next year in August.
So longer than one day.
It will be a 2-day thing. Like we're even thinking guys can camp, wake up,
Think of
listen to
African
TED
Evo, but
Talks,
TED Talks.
Yeah.
and then all like chill, have like a blankets and wine,
Yeah.
then have an evening session, then wake up again. Like
Yeah.
we want to revolutionize what
You see, Mudhoni,
two-day events.
if
Exactly.
Mudhoni,
We
drama
have-
queen is
Yeah.
watching this. Hello.
Yeah.
girl.
And she
Exactly.
was speaking
Yeah.
at TED.
Yeah,
she's a TED
she
fellow.
literally, yeah,
Looking
she
for
literally
a
just did.
collaboration with her, which would be perfect.
Yeah.
Aw.
And then eventually, our biggest goal, I think, is to bring TED to Africa. So TED runs 2 global conferences outside of Vancouver. One is called TED Global, and the other one is called TED Summit. So we are looking to have either one of those 2 events or conferences happen in Nairobi in 2021.
Look at you, ladies. What? And engineers, by the way, lest you
Exactly.
forget.
Yes.
And all this you volunteer. You do it because you're
Yeah.
passionate. Bless
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
we don't
much.
sleep, but it's okay.
What is sleep?
What is
What is
sleep?
this? Yeah.
We'll sleep when we're dead.
All right, thanks again,
Yeah.
ladies.
Thank you.
We've got to take a break, but when we come back, we'll meet 2 of the speakers that are going to be speaking this Saturday, May 4th, which, by the way, are tickets still open? Can people still?
No, but we might
Do something
Maybe.
special.
this week.
You never know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll be back in a moment.